guys, Christine here, and I want to talk to you guys today about traveling with your kids. So I know this time of year is a super popular time to be traveling. I have a friend who says they're going to the mountains, to a beautiful cabin. I know a lot of people are traveling to be with their family this time of year. We are actually staying home and family's coming to us this year. So we get to stay out of the car, but as you guys know, we are huge road schoolers. So we are constantly on the road. Whenever there is a really cool field trip opportunity, we're going to take it. Whenever there is an awesome vacation opportunity, we're going to go. So we try to go as much as we can and go camping and try to see all kinds of places around the United States. So since we have traveled quite a bit, people are always asking me, like, how do you stand traveling with your kids? Because I get it, traveling with kids can be a task, right? Because they are used to their routine and they are used to being able to burn off energy anytime they want, just running outside and going, where you can't necessarily do that when you're traveling. So I wanted to give you some tips to help you when you're traveling with kids this season. So the thing that I love about traveling with kids, first of all, is seeing the world through their eyes, because there is nothing like going to a place and seeing it through their adventures. Because if we go, so we just went to the Smoky Mountains not long ago. I loved it there. It was beautiful. I loved the leaves. I loved seeing all of the old cabins. I am a sucker for that kind of stuff. It's like living history, getting to see how people lived in the mountains back then. So cool. But my kids are obsessed with, well, at least my 6-year-old is obsessed with lizards and salamanders. So when he found out that there are salamanders that are only found in the Smoky Mountains, he went bananas, right? I would not have stopped for that myself. I am not a lizardy, salamandery person, right? But we learned so much about the park because of his joy and his passion about reptiles. We wouldn't have stopped for any of that. We wouldn't have stopped to read about them. They even had a super cute book all about it. So really, I mean, that is just that much of seeing the world through their eyes and just seeing their joy when you're going on vacation with them. So that's my very favorite part. But obviously, traveling to places, kids are going to get bored very quickly. They may go somewhere and you're going to totally hype it up for months possibly, right? Because a lot of times when you're planning vacations, you're hyping it up for months and months and months. And then you get there and for zero reason, it's a flop. It's not a good trip. Nobody's having fun for whatever reason. It can mean that was Hawaii for us, actually. We went to Hawaii and it was a flop. It was a total flop, which people are like, oh my gosh, how did you not like Hawaii? It was beautiful. There was stuff that we really loved about it, but it was just one of those trips that did not work out in our favor for whatever reason. So I guess with the expectations, right? So you need to be going into your trips with the expectation of this could be one of those flop trips. Don't build it up so much with all of these amazing expectations, what everyone else has said to you about it. You need to live your own reality in that trip. So obviously, you know, take people's advice if they have been there before and take those travel tips from them and everything and things that they have seen, things that they would not recommend to see, all of that. But don't go in with like they're super high, it was the best vacation we've ever had, because that may not be for you, right? Because everyone's gonna have their own reality. Everyone's going to have their own trip. Every trip is gonna be different, no matter who's taking it, how many times you're gonna take it. It's gonna be different every single time, right? So when you're going to these places with your kiddos, the first thing that I recommend is to pack plenty of busy items. So this especially counts for when you're in the car for very long stretches or if you're in a plane for very long stretches. We prefer to drive as much as we possibly can as opposed to flying anywhere. So you're gonna see us packing up our camper and driving, no matter what, pretty much, unless we have to go overseas. So pack all kinds of busy items. So one of our favorite busy items is the license plate game. So I do have a printable for you guys in my post that is linked there for you. It is a free printable and it is just a super cute copy of the license plate game that the kiddos can check off when they find those license plates when you're on the road. And it also is a way to teach geography too, because it has the check marks on the actual state. So even though they're gonna be seeing them driving through whatever state you're in, they're going to be finding where on the map those states are as well. So it's super fun. My kids pretty much never get tired of that game, so we bring it with us and make new printouts every time we go somewhere, especially if it's really long car trips. Another thing that you can bring is activity books. So my kids love, love, love to draw. I usually end up just bringing them blank paper and pencils because they are perfectly happy with that. They have a passion for drawing. They have a passion for coloring. So that is good for them. I also recommend different activity books. I think it's National Geographic that I have linked in the post for you guys has an activity book that is like, it's a map and an atlas and different road trip activities and everything all in one book. So it's all right there for you. Just bring your pencils and crayons and it's good to go. Also like those Junior Ranger books, right? So all of our trips that we take to national parks, state parks, national monuments, all of that, we're gonna be able to find Junior Ranger books. And so that's a really great thing to do in the car when you're driving from place to place inside of a national park or whatever. Because we do tend to, even when we're at our destination, to have to drive around the area. So having those Junior Ranger books, a lot of times you can actually print them online beforehand if you want to, so they can be working on it on their way to the destination. And then also Mad Libs are a huge hit with my kids. They love to do Mad Libs in the car. They don't realize that they're learning language arts skills and whatnot and refreshing all of those when we're doing them. It's just a really fun thing for them to do. So that's a really good time waster for when you're in the car. Something else is a tablet. So I don't know how we would live without our tablets on all of our trips. We have Kindle Fires and we use the heck out of them. We are constantly on them when we are on road trips. We do use them at home a little bit for school as well. My son does his All About Spelling app on there. We use them for ebooks. We use them for audiobooks. We use them for games. We use them for different educational apps. Everyone in our family has a Kindle Fire except for the baby, and we honestly are thinking about getting her one even for car trips so she can watch her own little movie for when we're taking those super duper long stretch of car trips, right? So I am actually doing 12 days of giveaways right now as well. So today is day 12. It's the last day of my giveaways. I'm so sad, but I am giving away a Kindle Fire today. So I have my giveaway linked for you on the post. Go in, all you have to do is comment why you would love to have this, and then there's some extra entry options for you guys there as well if you want, but I'm giving one away, and it's red, it's so pretty. I didn't want to open the box so that whoever gets it has a brand new in-box Kindle, but it's red for Christmas, it's so pretty. I'm a little jealous because it's a way newer one than the ones that we have. So go on there and try to win it. It's only for today, so only for the 12th. By tomorrow morning on the 13th, I'm gonna announce the winner by 9 a.m. I usually try to do it by 8:30 in the morning Eastern time, so try to go on today to enter for it because it's only for the next, I don't know, not very long, right? Get on there, enter, make sure you get it because we love our Kindle Fires. I don't know what we'd do on road trips without them. Same with plane trips. So when you are planning your trips, make sure to plan your trips to be kid friendly. A lot of times when we're planning trips, so we will do long stretches. We're crazy. Our kids are pretty much used to doing long stretch trips. So even if we're driving 12 hours in one day, we won't obviously do that back to back. But if we know it's 12 hours to our destination, we will suck it up and we will drive 12 hours to that destination. I do not recommend that to the average traveler because that is not working at your kids' pace. They will become little terrors in your back seat when you're traveling for 12 hours straight. Our kiddos are used to it. We do it fairly often. If you are not traveling very often, I would try to break that up into 2 days if you can. I know sometimes it's hard because you only have 5 days for vacation. So if you're traveling for 2 days there and 2 days back, that only leaves you 1 day. I get it. Sometimes that's really hard. So obviously you have to work with what you have. But if you're able to split that up, try not to do more than like 4 to 6 hours in a day, or do 4 hours, take a long break, and then do 4 hours at the tail end of the day. It can make a huge difference in everyone's attitudes. But realize that when you're traveling with kids, right? That they are going to be impatient. They are not going to be able to burn off that energy when they are in the car or when they are in an airplane. So, you know, be patient with them because I know that that's a struggle that I have. And it's like, why can't you settle down? It's like, because they've been sitting in the back seat for 8 hours. That's why they can't settle down, right? They need to get that energy out. So try to travel those short distances at once if you're able to. The other thing is plan some fun stops. So if you do have a long day, even if you don't have a long day, even if it is only 4 hours in the car total for that day, try to make whatever stop you're doing that day, or if you're stopping somewhere in between. So if you're doing a huge 12-hour stretch, try to make your stop, you're making a fun stop. So whether it's a really cool rest area that you know has some really cool little attraction, like world's biggest bear or whatever it is, right? So something silly like that, or even just a snack that you wouldn't typically get. So we let our kids pick out some junk food sometimes when we're stopping, just because we're like, you would not be allowed to have this normally, but we're gonna let you have it today, because then they like look forward to it, right? It's something exciting. It makes that just an anticipation of going to that stop a little bit more than looking at the tail end of that trip going, oh my gosh, we still have all these hours left. So sometimes having that snack or that little fun destination makes all the difference. If there's a park that you know that is on your stop somewhere, even if you have to go out of your way 5 or 10 miles, it is so worth it to make that stop. Go there for a half hour even and have the kids run off that energy, and it makes a huge, huge, huge difference. The other thing I recommend doing is packing all of the snacks. I mean, we pack probably as much for 6 kids instead of just our 3 kids, because we want to make sure that we have so many snacks that if they are the least bit bored, that they will have snacks. So I'm not talking about we're packing a bunch of chips and junk food. We typically will pack a bunch of fruit, some crackers, sandwiches, but we bring double, because chances are if your kids are stuck in the car for hours, they're gonna be starving all day long. It just happens every single time. So pack a cooler, pack lots and lots of snacks, make sure that they have all of the food, so that way when they're, I'm so hungry, here you go, here's some more crackers, here's another apple, here's an orange, here's a banana, here's some nuts, whatever it is, it will keep them satisfied and it will keep that winding down just a little bit. So another thing is to find some kid fun at your destination. So whether you are visiting family or whether you are planning an actual vacation, finding those kid-friendly activities is a game changer. So even if you're going somewhere, like we love going to museums, we love going to different historical places, we enjoy that as adults. Me and my husband, we could do that all day, every day, and just see all of the cool historical sites and all of the cool museums, and we would never get bored of it. Obviously, our kids are gonna get bored of that pretty quickly, right? So when you are going to places like that, always, always, always ask if they have a children's activity sheet of some sort. We made the mistake this summer as we went to, I think it was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We went to, I think it's the National Civil War Museum. Coolest museum ever, guys. There were like artifacts and pieces of clothing that were like truly worn by famous war generals and stuff like that, and it was pretty phenomenal. It was really awesome. The kids were bored out of their minds. They were so bored. I mean, because it probably took 4 hours or so to go through this museum. There was so much to see and so much to read in little videos, and they have videos of like the little stories of people who, you know, it was actors of course, but they had people who were like going through whatever story of real life back then, and so we had to sit there and watch all the little videos. It was so cool. The kids were bored out of their minds though, which was really hard on us because we wanted to sit and look and listen to everything. So I just went on that website to research for a blog post I was making about the Underground Railroad. They have activity sheets. They had sheets. They had scavenger hunts for the kids to do. Oh my goodness, that would have saved our trip there. It totally would have saved it, because all the kids needed was something to stay busy. They needed something that if they had in every room had to try to find something, they would have loved it. They would have been so excited to go on to the next room. They would have been pumped to try to find their stuff. Little stuff like that. It does not have to be much. Kids soak it up. They absolutely love it. So don't make a mistake like I did. No matter where you're going, even if they don't offer it to you, ask if they have some type of kids activity sheet, because chances are they have something for the kids to do at the museum or historical site or wherever you're going. Create lessons out of your unit. So a lot of places obviously are educational. So before you go, you can read a book. If you are outdoorsy, You can look up information about the native plants and animals before your trip so that you are prepared with knowing what they are or where you are or who the people were that lived there or whatever it is. And a lot of times visitor centers will have all the information for you as well. So I definitely recommend going to visitor centers because a lot of times they, again, will have kid-friendly papers or activity books or whatever that has to do with whatever it is that you're visiting. So that can be really huge. So same thing that if you are not the typical, I guess not the typical, not our typical, since we're the people who want to go to national parks and everything like that, if you are the kind of person who does like tropical vacations or whatever like that, even if it's the most luxurious beach vacation that there is, it can be such a learning experience still because you can learn about sea life or tide pools or coral reefs or whatever it is and just observe that stuff with your kids and ask them questions about it and what, you know, what they think it looks like and how they think that they may live in there and whatever. I mean, even the most luxurious vacation like that, you can change into a huge learning opportunity. So another thing is to find those family-friendly destinations. So when we are going on vacations, we obviously plan stuff for me and my husband that we want to see that are, you know, top priority. If we're going here, we're going to see this because that's what's famous there and that's why we're going in the first place. But then we also will seek out zoos and aquariums because our 6-year-old cannot get enough of animals. And we will also seek out science centers because our 10-year-old is very into STEM and engineering and all of that. So we will seek those places out and they will both have their place that they will go during our 5-day vacation. Even if it is somewhere that's only gonna take an hour, it's something that they're looking forward to. It is their part of the vacation that they are anticipating then. So they feel super involved and that obviously makes them have a better time because then it's like they're there for them, you know? It's not just I'm following mom and dad around this place that I could care less about. So try to find out those family-friendly places. You don't always have to go to Disney World. You can go to some places that don't seem very family-friendly, but then make sure you're going to those fun places for them when you're in that area as well. It can make a really, really big difference. So I love traveling with kids. We did not travel very much before we had kids, honestly, so most of our travels have been with children. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, we are planning in the next couple of years to get in our RV and to tour the United States with all 3 of our kids while homeschooling all 3 of them and learning about the world around us. I mean, that is the best thing about traveling with your kids is you are learning about the world around you. So I hope that you guys will let me know what you love traveling with kids and your favorite places to travel with your kids too, because I want some ideas. So let me know in the comments. You guys can also join my online homeschool group, Relaxed Homeschoolers, and I will see you guys around and I will see you next time. Don't forget to sign up for that Kindle. Bye.